Hello, everybody! I've unmuted.
Hola!
Okay.
Unmuted. Definitely? You sure?
I'm pretty damn sure I have. Right.
Hello!
Hey, William!
Yay! You have a badger!
Hello, Badger!
Badger.
Badger.
Right, okay.
Can you hear the music?
And they... That is the question.
Yay!
Yay! Look at that! We've achieved internet!
We've done an internet!
Eat internet!
I'm gonna turn it down slightly though.
I'm gonna do a book!
Okay, I have some music up. It is a loop. It's some nice casual background stuff that I read the license agreement for. Don't demonetize me. That we're making any money.
Sorry, was that a jive at my Prokofiev?
Yes. Yes, but like
I don't.
because we misunderstood copyright law, and Chris tried to play some Russian ballet on a Pokemon stream, and apparently we got banned in Russia because people were watching us in Russia.
I didn't misunderstand copyright law. I understood UK and
we.
US copyright law, and I was fine. Fuck Russia. Fuck Russia.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
In Soviet Russia, Russia fucks you.
Wait, no. Wait, no. I don't want to lube up Russia.
Did you have to say that sentence quite like that?
You started it.
I can't really argue with that.
No, you cannot. Speaking of not arguing with things, no, there's gonna be lots of arguing on this. This is the whole stream. We've for I believe our 7th stream, according to the numbers I've been keeping for YouTube reasons. We thought we'd go back to what we did on the first time. We're ranking some Pokemon.
Yeah.
That reminds
We're gonna
me.
rank some burbs.
That reminds me,
But not just any old burbs, is it, Jonathan?
It's not just any old burbs. We are doing the Pokemon first tier burbs. The burbs that you always find at the beginning. Because in every Pokemon game, and I mean every single one, except for the spin-offs, because you don't get the spin-offs yet, there is always a flying type Pokemon that is vaguely bird-shaped that you will meet very early on. That you will be able to capture, train, whatever. It's usually the first Pokemon you have that learns fly. Burbs! Yes, Robzord. Robin? Is that you? Hello, Robin. Long time no see. Yay! Hello, Robin. Yes, so there are many of these burbs. They are brilliant, they are wonderful, they are big feathered friends. There are many of them. There is at least one for every generation, but there are also a few honourable mentions that we will get to later.
I was going to say, and some generations have 2 burbs, because, you know, they're special that way.
That's what the honourable mentions are for.
Oh, for the ones where there's... Are you going to call Spearow an honourable mention?
Yeah, if only because our first boy... Nope, wrong one. Pidgeot takes that kind of place as, like, the early bird, quite literally. Hey, don't you fuck with Fearow! Don't you fuck with Fearow. Fearow's great. Fearow is, like, better than
absolutely great.
Fearow is, like, better than it has any right to be, because you're like, man, I've already got a Pidgeot, and then you train a Spearow, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, you're like, this is what it's like to have a flying type with an actual attack stat. What?
Yep.
Controversial opinion, Fearow is better than Pidgeot. Fight me.
Well, let's put it like this. If they'd given Fearow a Mega, it probably wouldn't have been as shit.
I mean, that is true.
Because Mega Pidgeot...
Drillpeck for the win.
Mega Pidgeot sucks ass. Let's get that right out of the way.
That's pretty garbage.
Mega Pidgeot is poorly designed. I like the look of it as it just like a Pidgeot more flamboyant. I like the look of it.
Yeah.
But giving it no guard when it has kind of very few moves that need it, not great.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
The Quiff is good. The Quiff on Mega Pidgeot is good.
It's a magnificent Quiff.
It is fabulous. Fabulous and multicolored. But it only has one move that really relies on no guard, and that's Hurricane. And you can kind of get Perfect Accuracy Hurricane any other way and with better
For
Pokemon
rain.
because rain teams. So,
Yeah.
Very much like
It
if you
just is.
yeah, if you want to do a Perfect Accuracy Hurricane, use a Swanna. Because it'll work better in a rain team.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it'll work better in a rain team because it can set up Rain Dance and it's a water type. And also, it's got better special attack. Mega Pidgeot fucking sucks. But that's not what we're judging. Today we are judging Base Form, the OG, the burb that began all burbs. Pidgeot.
The bitch basic pigeon.
The one, like the Pokemon that you genuinely cannot tell if it's evolved or not from its previous form. It's Pidgeot. Because you sit down and you, like, if you've got two 3D models, a Pidgeotto and a Pidgeot sat next to each other, you fucking tell me what the difference is.
The difference is that Pidgeot has colourful head feathers.
No, because Pidgeotto also has that.
Pidgeotto's got pink. Pidgeot's got pink and yellow.
Okay, so the difference with Pidgeot is that it got divorced and decided to get blonde highlights.
Yes! Yes.
For those of you who can't, who
Pidgeot
are...
is the divorcee of the Pokemon bird world.
I need to zoom in a little bit more.
Yeah, less douchey on a Pidgeot.
Yeah, this is a little.
Yeah.
This is a little hard to see.
Aye. So it's. I mean, and again.
Yeah, that's
right.
better. That's
Look,
better.
if we talk about, yeah, I feel like part of the problem though is that
For those of you who still can't see,
Pidgeot.
that's Pidgeot. That's our boy.
Yeah, I think the problem for Pidgeot is actually more the sprites for the 3D games.
The models, yeah.
Where absolutely magnificent. Because the sprites in the 3D games, so you're talking about like OG, you're talking about Pokemon Stadium 2, and then later Pokemon Coliseum and XD. It's just a kind of like flappy, horrible mess. 10 feet though. Don't you be bringing that feet thing into this stream. Although also we don't kink shame, so feel free to feet as much as you want.
Where's
Hey!
your sibling, Robin? It's usually their job to call out the feet.
So
That's not gonna make any sense to anybody who hasn't played D&D with me. I'm very sorry, Harry.
right. So yeah. So but that certainly in the 3D games, the sprite difference between Pidgeotto and Pidgeot is non-existent.
Yeah, because they tend to also look backward, like they've been pulled backwards through a hedge.
Yes.
They're a bit scruffy.
Which I think is unjust and
Yeah.
unfair.
No, it's very unfair. Like the 3D models did Pidgeot and Pidgeotto dirty.
Yeah. But let's let's take this back from just like slagging, the design for being original and uninteresting because they literally make a pigeon big.
Yeah, because it was like it's the first generation of Pokemon. They're working with not very much. They're very much at base principles, so they just went bird.
Yeah. Archetypal burb.
Yeah, like we can't really. I never really want to slag Gen 1 Pokemon for having unimaginative designs because they were kind of working as the beginning. This was the start of the concept. Like it's the reason why I never rag on Muck as a design.
Yeah, we only rag on Gen 6 and 8 for designs.
No, I've ragged on Gen 5. I will rag on Gen 5 for some designs. Some designs.
That's fair as well. Yeah. everything after Sinnoh goes wrong somehow.
Everything after Sinnoh goes wrong somehow. And Sinnoh didn't have the best designs, but it felt with Gen 5 they were really phoning some of them in. Anyway, so, to start us off, where would you put our OG Bob? Where would you put Pidgeot?
I would always put Pidgeot slap bang in the middle. Pidgeot, I think, is your solid mid-tier, C-tier. You know, it does the things that a bird does. It doesn't do any of them particularly well, but it doesn't do any of them particularly badly.
See, that's the thing.
In Gen 1, I would always... Yeah, I would always swap out a Pidgeot for a better flying type. But I also, I would still have it in my team probably up to the third or fourth gym.
So that's the thing. I've trained a couple of Pidgeots, and they're like Raichu. They're kind of worth it for a while, but they're not particularly exciting. So I think putting Pidgeot in C tier is a good way of doing things.
Yeah. Just because it's Talonflame. Fuck up with judging me.
Hey.
Talonflame is great.
Hey, we will get to Talonflame. We will get to Talonflame.
Oh, man.
But not just now, because I think the bird that fits the sort of...
I thought it was you, Alistair.
Hi!
Dear.
We met once.
Yeah.
On the Kangaskhan team. I will fight and kill and die for
AMT for the getting wrecked by Talon.
Hey! Yeah, no. Gale Wing's Talonflame just dominated everything.
Yeah, and I'm like, fair enough that it is absolutely hacks. Well, I hold my hand up to that, but it's also really fun.
Hey, baby. They did. I think that's why they changed Gale.
Pidgeot is very kind.
They did actually change the way Gale Wings worked.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's only priority for flying type moves if the Pokemon is at full health.
Really?
They changed that, yeah. So it meant that anytime, if you were dealing with any entry hazards, Gale Wings didn't work.
I mean, that, I think, balances a lot better.
It balances a hell of a lot
more
better, yeah.
Sense.
Yeah, and it meant that anyone with extreme speed could fuck with it.
Anyone that's got a kind of a plus 2 priority move or anything like that.
The Heracross was nuts. Yeah. Anything with skill link. Which, by the way, if you want to try that strategy again with new Pokemon, look up Mouse Hold and Population Bomb and the loaded dice item. It's fucking nuts. That's a move that can hit 10 times.
This is why I can't handle that Sonic could fuck with it.
Sonic fucks with too many things, if you ask the fanfiction community. Sonic fucks with too many things.
I'm not reading your Sonic X Pokemon fanfic. That's not what we're
I really don't want. I don't want to read it. I don't want to write it. I want to set fire to it. Besides, the bats come later. Anyway, for Gen 2,
I shall
should
name
be a
him
penguin.
Gary.
Should be a penguin.
Absolutely. Gary
Excellent.
the Pidgeot.
Gary the Pigeon.
The finest of all of the giant pigeons.
Well, next up we have,
Right.
I think what
fits
the best for the sort of like starter bird feel for Gen 2 is Noctowl.
Noctowl would have to be your starter bird for Gen 2.
Noctowl has to be the starter. Because originally when I looked up, so when I was looking through the various flying types of this, I was like, okay, so you find them early, they're all 3-tier evolutions. That's not true. Pidgeot is the only...
It's not.
Pidgeot is the only 3-tier evolution for 4 generations. Up until Gen 4, Pidgeot's it.
Yeah.
Can't give a hoot.
about that one.
Okay, I will say...
I mean, that, in fairness, that's when we come down to Noctowl. Although I love its design, I love the fact that it gets psychic moves, which is kind of great in terms of like variety. And also, Gen 2, we have Steel Wing as a move that exists. So just Noctowl can learn by TM. It's good, but it's also not good. Again, I think it's more varied and interesting than Pidgeot, but I also think that its stats probably don't stack up.
there is another point. 2 other points, actually. One,
Go on.
I vastly prefer Hoot Hoot's design. And
Hoot Hoot has a really cute design.
Hoot Hoot has a great design. And 2, Noctowl looks like it's judging you. Noctowl looks like it's fucking judging you.
You wish to knock Noctowl down the rankings because you feel judged by the owl.
Look at those eyes! Look at those eyes and tell me that's not judging you. Look at it! Look at it! Look at those judgmental eyes! Noctowl knows what you did!
Noctowl 100% knows what you did.
Noctowl knows what you did!
You. I'm glad Noctowl makes you feel seen.
Noctowl makes you feel seen. Noctowl sees everything.
Yeah, and it forgives nothing.
And it forgives nothing.
I mean, that almost makes me want to, like boost it, honestly. I kind of like that about it. Like, He had the force. That is dreadful! Take your Pokemon jokes and keep them here. This is exactly the place for them.
This is exactly the place for them. And Noctowl judges you for them!
Okay, so, in which case then, as a balanced take on it, we're working on the basis that Noctowl both has a more interesting move pool, but also is judging you.
Yes.
I would put it on par with Pidgeot for that then.
Honestly, yeah. Like, honestly, Noctowl has never interested me enough to train it. And if we sort of compare it to its early normal counterpart of Furret, the design has never been adorable enough for me to, like, want it. But also, these owls are, like, 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
Noctowl's fucking big. I mean, in fact, let me just to get... We go to Bulbapedia for this.
Jason Todd of birds. I mean...
Holy shit, no, Noctowl is 5 feet tall.
Yeah, no, Noctowl is big.
Noctowl's 5 feet tall. That's an owl that is... That is an
literally
owl.
Taller than some people I went to university with.
That is an owl that is up to my just under my chin. That is an owl that is up to my collarbone.
It's a big fluffy friend.
That's a big fucking owl.
Yup. We'll eat your enemies. Go on, you kind of want to bump it up the list now just because you found out it's big.
I kind of do, actually. Yeah. I kind of do, but I don't think it's. I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough to bring it beyond C tier.
All right, stick it in C tier.
I'll stick it in C tier alongside Pidgeot, but it is.
Yeah.
Like a little bit higher than Pidgeot. Just like a little bit.
I mean, but also you clearly think Pidgeot is good, and we think Pidgeot is mid. So, you know.
Yeah, you think Pidgeot is good. We like Pidgeot is. Pidgeot, like a lot of sort of the Gen 1 archetype setters, is very mid. Because, like, there's stuff tends to come better afterwards that's just better than it. Like, think about it. We had Raticate last time that is clearly outshone by the Doof. Like, by Bidoof and Bidoof.
And again, yeah.
And later things. And Linute.
We've started a war in the comments over height versus... dislike Noctowl.
I like
Noctowl has confusion and hypnosis. In my mind, at the very least, makes it a better Pokemon to like carry you through for a while than Pidgeot does.
Yeah, it's got a little bit more variety, like, but just a little, because Pidgeot does get some later. Although, if we want to talk about lack of variety, let's bring up our next little boy. It's Swellow.
Oh, Swellow.
Oh, Swellow.
Goddamn Swellow.
In context, just to provide context for what I'm about to say, Chris and I both adore Generation 3. It is where some of our favorite Pokemon live. It's one of our favorite regions. It's the one we kind of go back to every time whenever we talk about this stuff. With that context... God, Swallow is boring.
It's so boring.
So boring. Swallow has nothing to offer.
It somehow manages to be eclipsed by Pelipper.
It's this smug-looking motherfucker. Like,
Still better than Noctowl. I would certainly argue Noctowl is better than Swallow. Swallow does literally nothing.
Like,
It does wing attack and it does quick attack.
look at that smug motherfucker.
Which everybody does.
So that's the thing is, like, yeah, because, like, that's the thing. Noctowl has the whole psychic wise owl thing going for it. Swallow kind of has nothing. Like, it's brave and it's like it gets guts and it gets scrappy as a hidden ability. Scrappy's a good hidden ability, but
And guts is a pretty solid ability.
Yeah, but it's like
generally,
it's all just flying moves and normal moves for its learn set, and it's just like Tailo is cute. Swallow is just kind of smug. And I
get the impression, Jonathan, you dislike smug and judgy birds.
I'll take judgy over smug. I said what I said.
Fair enough.
Swallow is smug. That explains a lot. Yes, it does. I'm very happy for that to be unpacked later. I actually did train a Swallow at one point during a Ruby playthrough. I trained it all the way to the Pokemon League. Fuck, man, it was the weak link in that team. Really not got a lot to offer.
No, and again, there are two flying types available at the start of, Gen 3. It's Wingull and it's Swallow. And it's like, of the two of them, you can have Swallow who does just about nothing, or you can have Pelipper, who is a pelican, which is delightful.
It's delightful.
Also, and tanky as fuck.
Pretty tanky, and also in terms of a story team, Pelipper is a fantastic HM slave because it can learn fly, surf, dive, and waterfall.
Yeah. Oh, it's solid.
So if you're running a story team and you need an HM slave, Pelipper's kind of up there with Bibarel in terms of like shit you can just pile everything onto.
Absolutely.
Because this was back in the days of HM slavery before we outlawed it and the HMs were allowed to be free. I just said that out loud, didn't I?
Pokemon condone. Yes, I was going to say Pokemon condone slavery since 1995.
Pokemon's been condoning animal abuse since 1995. Get the fucking program.
Still condones animal abuse.
Yeah.
We got away from slavery. Still for animal abuse. I don't
Swallow.
think. Again, I don't think it's like actively terrible. I just think it's so boring and does so little. And it's like the only thing you can do with it is give it guts and give it facade.
Oh my god, Peter was right.
Oh my god, Peter was right.
So that's the thing is, like, honestly, I think being dull and barely functional is a bad sin, because I don't think there's anything on this list that I actively hate, except for, like, having a grudge against Talonflame, because spoilers, Talonflame's coming up later. But I will fully acknowledge that it's a great design, and it's a great Pokemon. I just have a grudge against it from when I used to do competitive shit. And Galeflame's Talonwing. Galewing's Talonflame was a bitch to get around.
Yeah.
So honestly, I kind of want to put Swallow in F.
I mean, I reckon put it in E, and if we find anything we hate more, then we can put that in F. And if we don't find anything we hate more, we can bump it down to F.
Okay, Swallow, you're going in You're going in E tier. I will accept that.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to the one, the only, the crested punk rocker who wants to fight you outside. It's Staraptor.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, Staraptor. Just to bring up the larger image, this is Staraptor. that dude is gonna
dude
is gonna drag your ass outside and beat you to death.
Yeah. That is a burb where they were like, you know what? We've done all of the regular burbs. Let's do an awesome burb.
Let's do an awesome bird.
Arceus.
And let's teach it martial arts.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, let's teach it martial arts because Staraptor was the first Pokemon I encountered that could learn close combat.
Which is just immense.
This is the bird that is like, you want to take this outside, bro?
Yeah.
Like, Staraptor will
so
fuck
good.
you up.
And just from a mechanical point of view, giving a flying Pokemon a fighting move, which kicks the shit out of rock types, kicks the shit out of ice types, is just a really solid idea.
Yeah. And like, the thing is, of going from Starly, which is really cute and like a little fluff ball of Starly. And you get Staravia, which is like, it's a bit more of a bird, a bit more in itself, doing its thing. And then you just get the full-on punk edgelord over the ice swipe that is Staraptor. I'm like, you gotta love this thing. And it really can carry you through the whole game. Like,
absolutely.
They were clearly sitting there going like, man, we phoned it in with Noctowl and Swellow. Let's give them a good bird to start with. And then they made Staraptor. We were like, yeah, man, this is a bird that's gonna beat your ass.
Absolutely. So, yeah. And again, it's continuously appeared, as pointed out in the chat. It had a starring role as kicking the shit out of you in the first area in Arceus if you went the wrong way. It's a good burb.
It's a good burb.
It's a very solidly good burb.
And I did once build a competitive team around it. Like a brown Brave Bird, like high power Staraptor. And you and I have tested that team. It worked. It needed a little tinkering, but it worked as a concept. Like I straight
Absolutely.
up, I will die before I put Staraptor in anything before S tier.
I am happy to agree with S tier for Staraptor. I do think it is absolutely one of the peak birds that has come out of Pokemon.
Staraptor is it. Like, of all the bird Pokemon that I go, like, if I'm gonna go back to any of them, I go back to Staraptor.
Yeah, because it's great.
It is the king of birds.
King of burps.
Now let's talk about the slightly inferior follow-up bag.
Let's talk about the slightly unpheasant thing in the room.
Unpheasant, which is an interesting case because
sexism.
Well, sexism. It had its like male and female forms because they were trying to like they introduced that in Gen 4 and then like tried to push it a bit more in Gen 5 as like a thing.
Yeah, they were trying to create more variety in the Pokemon that were there to try and encourage more collection.
Yeah, it was a cool idea. I'm not averse to that, and I'm honestly not averse to Unpheasant. Like again, it's a.
Checked that in town yesterday. Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's real scrawny. It's a real scrawny bird. Like from P-Dub into Unpheasant, and I can't fucking remember what the middle one is called.
Can't remember. Inconsequential burb.
Yes. I remember it's Tranquil. That's what it's called. It's called Tranquil.
Tranquil.
There you go. It's I'm not averse to Unpheasant. It's alright. It's not bad. There's other things in Gen 5 I would rather train because the thing that I only really appreciated after the fact was that Gen 5 had a killer Pokedex.
It did.
Like, it was great.
And, yeah. We do come back to that from time to time and go, damn, we didn't appreciate that at the time.
No, we did not. But Unpheasant's not really a part of that.
No. I've just realised that I haven't been getting up I have not been fair because I have not gotten the
Bulbapedia pages up.
Bulbapedia pages up.
Yeah, I've been doing all the goddamn work here.
I know. It's nice sometimes just letting you do the work.
Why is it that you're sober and I'm doing all the work?
I know. It's because reasons.
This is ageism right here. This is ageism because we're
It is
younger. We have to
absolutely.
work for everything. The older generation get to sit
Yeah.
back and enjoy the fruits of our labors. I tell you.
Oh, fuck up. 4.5 years younger than me. Fuck me.
Why are those pitches so bitchy?
Oh dear.
Because frankly, you're wearing last generation's outfit, and we will just
Shut up.
because you're wearing last
Now,
you're wearing
here's
last
the thing.
generation's outfit, and it's just not working, darling.
Fuck. I mean, so I suppose one of the, if we're talking about Unpheasant, then talking about it in the game,
Yeah.
it suffers from the very much the same kind of problem that Swellow does, which is that its moveset was deeply uninspired.
That's
the only
the thing.
kind of interesting thing, the only interesting thing that it got was that basically all of it, and this is very much to its detriment, all of its attacking moves after like level 15 are, in fact, after level 11, in fact, are all special moves. So it gets Air Cutter, it gets Air Slash, it gets Razor Wind. The next time it gets a physical move is level 55. And you want to know what Unpheasant's special attack stat is?
Sub 80.
It's a base. It's a base 65.
Ooh!
Physical attack stat is a base 105 that then got upgraded to 115.
It's a
So
hundred.
its own move pool. Yeah.
It's got
own move pool is-
115 base attack, and it doesn't learn any
does.
fucking physical moves.
Till level 55.
What the fuck? This doesn't even have the
Yeah.
justification of the separation of church and state here. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, oh no, it's nonsense.
Which-
It's actual nonsense.
Oh yeah, by the way, just to explain that particular statement, for anyone who did not watch Chris's first Coliseum stream, when I say the separation of church and state around Pokemon, it's a reference to when they separated attack moves into physical and special moves. And I call it the separation of church and state because it's funnier.
Yep.
Um,
I also wish to point out that Unpheasant's Pokedex entries are deeply boring.
really? What we got?
Yeah. The male swings their head plumage to threaten opponents.
This is the
The
boy.
females' flying abilities surpass those of the males.
So men
Which hilariously...
are flashy and show off, and women are just better at shit.
hilariously- Yeah, but also that is actually contradicted in the Pokedex entries for Sword and Shield.
Because Sword and Shield fucks
Which is
everything up.
because it goes, Unpheasant are exceptional flyers. The females are known for their stamina, while the males outclass them in terms of speed. So,
Misogynist helped write the Pokedex in Sword and Shield.
yes. Because
God
damn it!
damn it!
We can't have strong female burbs.
God damn it, give me my strong female bird character, god damn you!
I know, right?
Zelda didn't.
I will
Let
murder you,
Pokemon
tiny
give us
man, yes.
let Pokemon give us the strong female bird, god damn it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because all the Rito
Yeah.
that you like are the cool ones in Zelda. They're all dudes. They're all dudes.
I mean, this is just a Nintendo problem. Nintendo has a problem with strong women.
I think at some point what Nintendo needs to do is just do a game where Mario gets the shit kicked out of him. Samus is an exception.
Samus is like the one exception, though.
And yeah, to be fair, the twist with Samus in her first game was that she was a woman. But I think
Revealed
Nintendo
at the very end.
Yes, I think Nintendo should do a game where Mario gets the shit kicked out of him. Many strong female dogs.
Yay!
And then you play as Peach going to
Nintendo's got the
rescue
best
Mario.
sections.
you play as Peach or Daisy going to rescue Mario because Mario has been like Goomba stomped and is dying in a castle somewhere. And you're Peach going like, all right, let's go fix things. Because you've played Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yeah.
Doesn't Peach have a shotgun?
She does. Peaches broke as shit in Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Peach is great.
Like, would you not play a game as Princess Toadstool walking around going, who's next?
I would play the shit out of that game.
Like, shotgun in one hand.
You want to give me a game?
Yeah, shotgun in one hand, parasol in the other, just beating fuck out of people, Doomslayer style.
There are Doom mods for that. Of course there are Doom mods for that.
Like, fuck yeah. I would kill just to see Peach going like, Bowser only ever kidnapped me because I allowed it. The only reason I ever stayed in that castle was because, frankly, he had better snacks. Now,
I was gonna say,
he has what's mine.
We're still waiting on the shotgun Pokemon to come out. It's coming at some point.
Particularly
now they've done like future and past versions of Pokemon. It's 110% we're gonna get a shotgun Pokemon at some point.
So that's the point. That's a good point.
They should.
Since Platinum, we haven't had a third triangle to any of the Pokemon games. Where was Pokemon Gun? For Sword and Shield, where was Pokemon Gun? Where was my dog with a fucking AK-47 in its mouth? Okay?
The real final boss.
They could have done
a school shooter the whole time.
We missed out our triplets of Pokemon Grey, Pokemon Z, and Pokemon Gun.
Yeah, we will always be heartbroken.
We'll always lament Pokemon Gun. Anyway.
The next one that they set entirely in a school.
You can't give dogs AKs, they turn you.
They don't give enough Easter eggs.
Oh god, no! Let the ROM hack community unleash.
Indeed. Oh man.
Anyway,
right.
So where are we gonna put Unpheasant?
Unpheasant.
Where are we gonna put Unpheasant?
Well, actually, I'm just gonna quickly, for the sake of the bottom of the list, I'm gonna go and look up Swellow because I didn't look up Swellow before.
Yeah, let's do some comparison. I don't think
see if Swellow has.
I don't think Unpheasant is.
I want to see if Swellow is more interesting.
I'm not going to question your dog, Phoebe. I don't think Unpheasant is bad enough to really reach F tier because neither of us hate it. It's just dull.
I mean, I think it's badly designed mechanically and and I don't like its artistic design either. So
we gave that.
There is that.
We gave those exact same criticisms to Swellow.
Well, I don't mind Swellow's artistic design. You don't like it because you think it's haughty. Swellow has 125 base speed, though, which is kind of funky, while the rest of its stats are completely useless.
It's quick and it's useless, but if you want quick and useless, play a fucking Ninjask.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not.
What would you rather?
Okay.
What would I rather have stalk me? Honestly, definitely not Noctowl. So I saw those eyes glowing at me in the middle of the night. I think I would shit myself inside out.
Oh dear.
Out of pure fear.
I would. I mean, for me, Unpheasant is as bad as Swellow.
Oh, I'm not. I wasn't proposing.
I personally would.
I was not. I was not proposing putting it any higher than
I'd
Swellow.
rather Swellow for the Talon. Fair.
I would not put Unpheasant higher than E.
Yeah, I'm like I personally see it as the same as Swellow in terms of just not. It's not interesting. It's not nice. I prefer Swellow's design, so I would put it below Swellow. But I appreciate that you have feelings.
Honestly, like, Unpheasant's design doesn't speak to me really at all. Whereas, like, I like the look of Swallows as a bird anyway. So apart from Swallow's facial expression, I'm on board with it. But Unpheasant kind of doesn't really have. Oh, wrong layer. Nobody saw anything. You didn't see the transparency layer under that. You saw nothing. So.
But yeah, I would put Unpheasant at the bottom. I think particularly since it's a 3-stage evolution.
Are we going to put Unpheasant on... Jesus Christ, why are you doing this?
Pick the correct layer, Jesus.
I was on the correct layer!
I don't think you are.
So we're going to put Unpheasant on F tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you!
Absolutely.
That covers the first 3. We've done the first 5 generations.
We see, we judge.
We see, we judge. Don't judge my fucking transparency layer, okay? It needs to be there.
Jonathan only works with the finest of genuine PNGs.
I refuse to testify. This is entrapment. So that's the first 5 generations in 45 minutes. So let's move on to the one that's been people have been chatting about this entire time. The one that made sort of the biggest splash across Pokemon, competitive and like general. We have Talonflame. Now Talonflame is the first of these Pokemon to really break the type, because up until now, all of them have been normal and flying type. All of them normal and flying type. And Talonflame, from its second evolution onwards, is fire and flying.
Which is great.
Which is a decent
typing.
typing.
For weakness to rock. But it's
got a type for weakness to rock, and doesn't do so well with... Suddenly adds a weakness to water. And only really gets rid of its weakness to ice. That's kind of it. But it's a fun typing. And I will admit... Fletchinder is genuinely one of the best Pokemon I have ever used for making a competitive team, because it's a really quick way to get a Pokemon that has flame body so you can hatch all them eggs.
I mean, yes, it is nice getting a Pokemon with flame body super early in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real handy. It's real handy. And Talonflame, for a while, I'm not sure if it still does. I don't think it still does. Kind of dominated the competitive scene because it had an ability that made its flying moves go first, which it would pair with the move Brave Bird to just fucking wreck shop on whatever you put out first. Yep. Thankfully, with the change to Gale Wings, it means that you can only do that once.
Yeah.
Because Brave Bird has...
Which is,
Yeah. Because Brave Bird has recoil. Which I'm wholly in favour of.
Exactly.
But Talonflame...
I mean, yeah, it's entirely reasonable.
Talonflame is a really solid bird. As much as I have a grudge against it for the things it's done to a few of my homemade competitive teams, it
does have good legs. You saw those legs at KFC, you would eat them.
Damn fucking right. That is the self-made Kentucky Fried Chicken. That is the self-Kentucky Frying Chicken. I can't deny that. I can't deny that Talonflame is a powerful Pokemon.
Let's just start.
It's a solid-ass design.
Yeah. It's such a good design. That's what I was going to say. Like, it's so pretty. It's such a beautiful design. And again, that, the fire flying lending to that design aesthetic, I just think it's peak. It's absolute peak. Yeah. In terms of the way that it's done. You've got the bold
colours, you've got the good legs.
Big, juicy eyes and big, pretty wings.
Yeah, like...
Also, yeah.
Talonflame is fucking solid, to be honest. And I'm assuming you have the Bulbapedia page open?
I do. Would you like to hear some Talonflame facts?
I would love to hear some Talonflame facts. For example, how big is it? Tell me the
Talonflame is 3 foot and 11 inches.
Talonflame is 3 foot and 11 inches. That's a much more reasonable size.
Yeah, about the same height as Unpheasant.
Yeah.
So they're kind of equal footing in terms of size. Shorter than Noctowl, though.
Yeah, because Noctowl's fucking ridiculous.
It is. Other fun fact, Talonflame's favourite foods include Wingull.
Well, that's disturbing.
This fucking lunatic Firebird eats water Pokemon.
The one thing that it can defeat, it consumes.
Yeah. It is 100% do or die at all times.
Like, as much as we talked about Staraptor being the one who's like, I will fight you outside, Talonflame strikes me as the kind of bird that drinks Monster Energy and goes to the gym immediately afterwards.
I think it mainlines Monster Energy.
This thing would have... The only reason this thing doesn't suffer from roid rage is because it can't afford the steroids. That is the only reason.
It drinks Monster Sleep. Yes.
So you say the Talonflame has ADHD?
No, we're saying that it has a horrific caffeine addiction. And possibly also ADHD. The two do go together very well.
Usually, yes. Talonflame, it has a problem.
And for that reason, if nothing else, I think we should put the neurodiverse flame bird up in S tier.
Honestly, I'm kind of with you on that one.
Yeah, and I would also like to put forward, it's really great move.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's... Yeah, so if we're talking about its OG moveset, then, you know, it has, because of its typing, it has the advantage that as well as learning normal moves and flying moves, it also gets fire moves.
Yeah, because it learns Flare Blitz,
doesn't it? Steel Wing at level 60.
Oh shit. It gets
Flare
Flare Blitz.
So I'm like, you know, this is a Pokemon... Yeah, we're talking about in Gen 6 when it came out. So you get Brave Bird and Flare Blitz, which are both hugely powerful recoil physical moves. You get Flame Charge to boost its speed, Acrobatics, which is great.
Yeah.
You get Me First, which is like a really interesting support move. Yeah. Also, surprising. Natural Gift for variety, Tailwind, Steel Wing. It's a really solid bird that you can do lots of stuff with. Like, this is one of the things is that you don't always have to be, didn't always have to be, you know, Gale Wing's Brave Bird. Sometimes it was Gale Wing's Tailwind to set up, and then your whole team just like went first and wiped. It was great.
Yeah, it was basically the only thing that would take that down would be a Trick Room team.
It's exactly it.
Yeah. So I'm very happy to put Talonflame right up in S alongside Staraptor. Long may it rain.
Agreed. It's great.
It's great.
R.I.P. Heracross.
R.I.P. Heracross. Gen 6 was great. In general.
It was, actually.
Not just because
I feel like X and Y are...
Yeah, no, X and Y was great. Although I will admit there was some slight problem with it being a bit too easy at times because it was the generation that introduced fairy moves, fairy type as a thing. And I then decided that I was going to do a single type team of dragons.
How'd it go?
Fucking steamrollered the place.
To be fair, I think this is the thing. So, because X and Y...
Look, as soon as Fracture learned Poison Jab, it was over.
Ease. Yeah, like, when it comes to the question about ease, X and Y was the very first game in Pokemon to insert an easy and hard mode. And it did this in the form of the EXP share.
Yes and no. If you want to be...
Yes!
No, if you want to be technical, actually the first game was the one to introduce an easier hard mode. Actually, an easy, medium, and hard mode, because that was actually what the starters were originally supposed to be.
Yeah, but even then, that's not, like, that was for, like, the first couple of gyms, and then you were kind of okay. The EXP share was, like, across the whole game.
Yeah.
Whole, you know.
Yeah.
Challenge mode. Oh, I forgot about challenge mode in Gen 5.
Oh, yeah.
My apologies.
Well,
this was like, in terms of like, you know, first playthrough, standard way of doing. Like,
Well-
you know, with an inbuilt mechanic that the game has put there. It was like, you can have the XP share on, the grind is minimal, you know, the mode is easy, and the first time I played through Pokemon X was probably the first time in like a first time story team that I got people up to like level 70 and level 80 easily.
So
that was fine.
It was that,
but
and
I've also tried Nuzlocking it with the EXP share off, and it's hard as fucking nails.
See,
Because
that's the thing.
the level jumps from every area are steep.
No, I'll give you that. But it was the combination of the EXP share and the battle chateau quite near the start.
Yeah.
Giving you a place where you could pretty constantly find like good trainer battles to train against.
That's true.
It meant that it sort of avoided the Heart Gold Soul Silver problem of the mismatched level typings.
Yeah, and also,
it's a
you
bit of
never
an
ran out of
overcorrection.
money, which was nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck, I want to play X and Y again. But also Mega Evolutions, because they were, of the gimmicks that have been introduced, they were the first and they were the best.
Yep! Pokemon's never quite matched that again!
Unfortunately, no. I mean, terrestrialization is cool in concept, but in execution it's kind of like... It's only cool in a technical sense, but it's not like got like a cool factor.
No, Mega Evolution, and again, I think that's one of the reasons why, like, I feel like Gen 6 competitive Pokemon was very much where it peaked. And then they ruined it when they fucking did the competitive for fucking Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and allowed fucking legendaries, and everything was really broken because you could have Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre in your fucking team and Mega Rayquaza, and it was just so stupid.
Because what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because what
like,
the fuck? And also, Mega Rayquaza could hold an item.
Yeah, which is just mad. Again, it's like you have a Mega, but you could also give it Life Orb if you want, or you can give it, whatever the fuck. You give it fucking Red Card if you wanted.
Because that was the
fucking.
That was the balancing.
Ice type Pokemon bounce away.
Because that was the slight, like, balancing thing for Megas, was that they couldn't have held items.
Yeah.
And held items were already such a big part of things. I was like, oh, well, fuck that noise.
Yep.
But anyway, moving on to Gen 7, when things started going a bit weird. We have Toucanon. Toucanon or not Toucanon?
Now, I know you have some gripes with Toucanon, but
Yes, because it sucks.
Which is so annoying, because I feel like it really shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but it does.
It's such a shame.
Really is, to be honest. Like, because honestly, I love the look of Toucanon. I really do, because, man, that is a bird that just got out of bed and doesn't want to deal with your shit. And I empathize with that on so many fucking levels.
Yeah.
Like, Toucanon is the bird that will blow you up before it's had its first coffee.
Yeah. And I mean, that's
it.
Literally what it does, because its fucking beak sets shit on fire.
Yeah. Why is it only normal and flying type?
God only knows.
Yeah, like, if there's any of the birds that should have been fighting and flying, honestly, it's this one.
Well...
Yeah, somebody touched his pint, and he's about to fucking murder them.
Yeah, it is very solidly that.
Yeah.
But it's got reasonably solid stats. All of the birds have a sub 500 stat total, but it's got 120 base attack. And it also has a really good abilities, because it gets Skill Link.
Yeah, it gets fucking Skill Link!
As a regular ability.
Like, what's the other one?
The other one, I'll double check again, sorry, it's Skill Link and Kenai, which is okay.
Kenai's
not great. But hidden ability is Sheer Force.
Wait, Skill Link isn't its hidden ability?
No, Skill Link
God,
was a
amazing.
regular ability.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that was the thing that was so broken about this.
Like, Skill Link is nuts as an ability.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what. I think it does learn Rock Blast.
It does. It learns Rock Blast. It learns...
Toucans were the Guinness mascot for some reason. Why? Why were Toucans the Guinness mascot? I don't remember toucans being particularly Irish.
It does seem quite strange. Maybe they just drink a lot of Guinness? Who knows? But I suppose one of the issues...
Toucans.
Oh, fuck off. Actual fuck off with that. Actual fuck off. But
No,
I mean,
shut up, Alistair.
Toucan had Rock Blast, it had Fury Attack, and it had Bullet Seed.
Yeah.
Those were its multi-hit moves.
Two really solid multi-hit moves and one decent one.
Yeah, which is good. And on top of that, it had its own unique move, which had 100 power and 100 accuracy.
Yeah, Beak Blast.
Yeah, which is like, again, on paper, this should be a great Pokemon.
It should.
So Jonathan, tell me, why is it not a great Pokemon?
I don't know. Honestly, like, I really tried hard to train one in Sun and Moon, and it didn't measure up to anything I was working with. And like, Sun and Moon has a decent Pokedex. It does not have the best Pokedex, but like,
it has a pretty solid Pokedex.
It's got a fairly solid Pokedex. It's got things like Golisopod and Primarina and Beware in there. But
and don't you be missing about Ribombee. Ribombee is just one of the best Pokemon in the world. I will accept no criticism.
Ribombee is brilliant. We love Ribombee. But it... You do that. But yeah, like, Toucanon just didn't... It's really weird, because when it was a Trumbeak, it was holding its own, and then it evolved into Toucanon, and it kind of just fell by the wayside with everything else.
I feel is interesting. Again, it's that bit that says, on paper, it should be great. I mean, its speed stat is pretty low.
Its speed stat is pants.
Yeah, it's base 60.
Yeah, that's nothing when it comes to flying types.
Yeah.
Like, that's painful.
Mm.
Let's look at Toucanon. I'm getting the page up as well.
Fair. I mean, I'm really enjoying. This is the thing. So like, Toucanon only appeared in Gen 7 and has never appeared since. Like, that's the only time it was in anything. It did Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, and then disappeared.
That's the thing. It's just not come back, which is kind of also another nail in its coffin.
I think it's because it's so recent. I think that's the reason. But also, like, so it's got 4 completely unique dex entries that are all great.
It can also boil water in its face if it's angry, because 212 degrees Fahrenheit is 100 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. That's the thing. So, like, its beak heats up to 100 degrees Celsius, like, when it's fighting, which is kind of mental. Within its beak are, internal gases that it can set fire to with its 100-degree beak, launching explosive seeds.
I've worked out why. Oh, wait, hang on a
Why?
minute. No, never mind. No,
Like,
sorry. I got that wrong.
But also, and I love this, they are known for forming harmonious couples. This Pokemon is brought to wedding ceremonies as a good luck charm.
This guy right here has a happy marriage.
Yes! And this guy is regularly brought to weddings in Hawaii to make everyone feel better.
That's the look you give. That is the look you give someone. That is the look of a guy who is watching his wife flirt with someone else at the bar and is not into it. Okay. Like, that is the look of a man who is going to go home and have an argument with his wife because she was just talking with another person. That's that look. Fuck you if you think that's a good wedding symbol. Okay, that's a jealous husband right there.
But
that's a jealous husband who can boil water with his face.
Yeah. That is beautiful.
You're not going to argue with me on that one? Like,
no, I'm not going to argue with you.
Okay, wow, I didn't expect to get away with a declaration like that, but okay.
Yeah.
I fully didn't expect to get away with that.
Or standing back while his adored wife is destroying his enemies. There you go. Phoebe solved it. We win.
Damn it, Phoebe! Like that's a grumpy looking bird. That's a grumpy ass bird who fades into the distance. But I don't know. I have more to say about Toucannon than I do about Pidgeot.
I mean, that's fair. I certainly think that it deserves better than Pidgeot and Noctowl. I think even if it failed to kind of keep up with your team, I think it is
we're looking
interesting.
At B. I think we're looking at B.
I'd give it a B.
I think we're giving Toucannon a B. As in beware what the fuck it's gonna do with that beak.
Yeah, it may burn the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just looking at the messages there. I do apologise.
Unprofessional.
Waiting while they underestimate her. Fucking right.
Yeah.
That's why his wife is so happy. Yay!
Excellent. Because he's just sitting there being like, I've got the car ready. Like, I've got the car ready. I'll clean the blood off your face. Like, we'll do this later. Let's see how far this guy gets. I've completely forgotten what's next. Oh, it's Corviknight. Now,
okay.
I know that you do not like Corviknight.
That is correct.
And I know you don't like Corviknight because, you know what they say about birds with big beaks.
I mean, hang on a second, but also, no, in fact, you go on saying your thing, and then I'll tell you what I've just learned about Corviknight.
I mean, that was Phoebe jumping back to a comment about Toucannon because it's got a very large beak, and you know what they say about birds with big beaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to get berries.
Hey!
But yeah, Corviknight. I have trained a Corviknight in a previous little ROM hack run, and I liked it. I liked it the second time around a lot more than I liked it the first time around. The first time I played it, I got very bored with it in Sword and Shield. But with its steel and flying typing, it's a really good type setup, and it is, if you'll pardon the pun, metal as fiery fuck.
I mean, you will need to explain to me in what sense this bird is metal as fiery fuck.
Well, I mean, okay, starting off, discounting the first two evolutions. Rookidee and Corvisquire suck. They suck. They suck. They suck big sweaty balls.
They do.
They suck big sweaty bird balls. Corviknight. Corviknight. If Edgar Allan Poe had been writing about this raven, then it wouldn't have been simply tapping at his chamber door. It would have kicked it the fuck in and arrested him.
I mean,
that is a bird who is here for a purpose. That is a bird that is the bird that you crack one joke to and it goes, And then, yeah, it's also kind of chunky. It's a big bird. And then it'll, like, fucking wreck you up because it is an armored stealth bomber with a beak.
I mean, that's fair. And it is, like, it's the big scary bird of its game. Its whole Pokedex entry is about ruling the skies. Also, it's fucking 7 feet tall.
It's 7 feet tall?
Yeah!
I did not know it was 7 feet tall.
220 centimeters.
That is...
Or 7 feet and 3 inches. In average height.
On average, this thing
is a foot taller than you plus extra.
You know what? I know, it's better than that. Do you know what the end of this tape measure is touching?
What?
My wall! That is more than half the width of the fucking room I'm in.
Yeah. It's a chomp bird.
That's a big fucking bird. That's a big scary fucking bird. And also, like, oh god, there was something else I wanted to say. About it. Shit.
Yes, it probably does shit everywhere. And given the size of it, and given the fact that it's made of fucking metal,
that's the thing.
Will probably go through the roof of your car.
Yes, it is an armored bird. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because you don't know this. they introduced a natural foil to Corviknight in Generation 9.
Oh?
In a Pokemon called Tinkaton.
The giant hammer meme Pokemon.
The giant hammer Pokemon, which I fucking love. I absolutely fucking adore Tinkaton.
I mean, the entire internet loves Tinkaton.
It's amazing. This guy, by the way, if anybody is wondering, its Pokedex entry says that it uses its hammer to, like, knock boulders into the sky to knock out Corviknights. Like, I love Tinkaton because I'm a sucker for a giant hammer.
I mean, that is hilarious because you want to know what Corviknight's Pokedex entry is for Scarlet and Violet.
Do tell.
Corviknight can't serve as a taxi service in Paldea because this Pokemon's natural predators will attack it while it flies, endangering the customer.
Yeah, that's Tinkaton.
Yeah, so basically because some asshole with a hammer decided that playing fucking baseball to hit birds out of the sky was his favourite hobby.
Because just this motherfucker, who by the way has the most adorable pre-evolutions, its 2 previous evolutions are fucking adorable, just punts boulders into the sky, specifically to fuck with this one bird.
He's like, this bird is metal. It thinks it's hard.
It's like, you think you're so think you're so cool. He's like, you think you're so cool. Jerry, serve that boulder. Boom. I love it.
Dumb.
I love a little guy with a giant hammer. Sue me. But also, like, Corviknight is big enough to serve as a taxi, so you kind of avoid the whole thing of, so how does a Spearow fly and carry you from city to city? Like, there is either just the wonderful image, and I cannot find it, of like a comic of somebody just had drawn red, just T-posing, standing on top of a Spearow. As it desperately flew to try and get them somewhere. Or I just like the idea of just someone hanging on underneath of a Pidgey just going. Nah, man, Corviknight, you can surf on top of this, on top of the back of this thing. And it is also again a chunk. I like the big armored boy. What do you?
I mean, I get you like the big armored boy. Hang on, I'm just sending you something. There you go.
Yep, that one. Oh shit. I know, I've frozen Skype by doing that. Oh no!
My face is gone. Oh no.
I fixed it!
That's okay then.
Because apparently, if you're trying to stream the video from Skype, it shits itself if you minimize it.
Fair.
So I've got it hidden behind the Twitch software.
Seems most sensible.
The screen I keep looking at, because all the chat and the Twitch stuff is on this screen here, but this screen is where all the actual shit we're working on is happening, and where my webcam is.
Yeah.
That's why it looks like I'm not making eye contact with anybody.
We just assumed you were really antisocial.
Well, was that too?
But yeah, so that's...
Yes, we're using Skype. Discord caused too many issues.
Yeah.
We'll probably use Discord if we get more than 2 people on this call.
Discord was legit bad for streaming, we discovered.
We'll probably use Discord when we eventually start doing, like, actual D&D stuff on this.
Mm.
Which will be someday. Someday.
Yay.
It's fucking it. We've got plans though. We've got ideas. We've got plans.
We do.
We have many plans, but the topics for these streams are usually not decided until. Admittedly, we were good today. It was like 2 hours beforehand that we decided what we were going to do.
We so prepared.
We professionals. We do things.
We do things.
Like, literally, he is an actor-director. I am a video game producer. It is in both of our job descriptions to be fucking organized, and neither of us are.
Yeah.
We're doomed, man. We're doomed.
We're so fucking doomed. Oh, God. It's okay, though, because we're here talking about burbs.
We're talking about birds!
And you think the big steely burb deserves a place above totally fucking useless.
I believe that Corviknight at least deserves B tier.
I struggle with that. I struggle with that because it should be so much more interesting than it is. It's like, its best move really is Steel Wing.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Its move pool is not great.
Its move pool is garbage. The most interesting thing that we've discussed so far is that it's 7 feet tall. That's the thing I have found most interesting. Like, its abilities, it has pressure as an ability, which is really weird, but I guess kind of cool. And Flying and Steel is a good typing. Like, I cannot argue that it's not a good typing. Like, it is. It's only got 2 weaknesses. It comes with 2 immunities. Fucking 8 resistances. It's great. But it's just so boring. We've already established that boring is the ultimate crime here.
That's why I don't want to push it above B tier.
But this is
I think it's not boring. I think it's got a really, really cool design. I think it's got an interesting typing that pulls it out. Okay, admittedly, yes, Skarmory might be a little bit better in terms of the Steel and Flying.
I mean, it is. It's no might be. It is.
Yeah. But I really like the design of Corviknight. Admittedly, its pre-evolutions are crap.
Again, for like the amount of time you have to sink into it to get it to the point where it's a Steel Burb and it gets to do interesting things. The interesting things it gets to do are not very interesting. Like, honestly, I would rather train a Pidgeot or a Noctowl than a Corviknight. It just feels so very meh to me.
Shall we compromise and put it in C tier then?
I am happy to compromise and put it in C tier.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Is one thing I quite like, I will enjoy, is having a tanky flying type. Because that is a rare thing. It's a rare thing!
No, Jonathan, we're just talking about your love of tall birds.
Shut up. One time! Wait.
Jonathan and that one ostrich that one time.
She wasn't Austrian, she was Norwegian.
Right, C tier.
C tier for the Steelbird.
C tier for the Steelbird.
So that's generations 1 to 8. Now we have the new kid on the block, which is a little weird because it doesn't necessarily fit the formula as well.
Okay.
Because, and admittedly, this might be partially due to the open world nature of Gen 9 with Paldea. You don't necessarily get it as early on.
Okay.
Because we are talking about the new kid on the block, Kilowattrel.
This is the electric one, isn't it?
The electric one. I'm not answering that question, Robin. So, just so we can get through the tiny image there. This is Kilowattrel.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's got a big belly.
It's got a big sort of like
really bad thing.
It's got a bit sort of like breathing like stomach thing. It's a decent typing. I'm not answering the fucking question. I'm not answering the fucking question. Kilowattrel being electric and flying type is actually pretty rare. I struggle to think of any other electric and flying types.
Emolga.
Like there's Emolga and what else?
Zapdos.
Anything else?
That's it.
Yeah. There's a legendary bird and a Pikachu clone.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, it's a very unusual typing.
It's a very unusual typing. Like, I added it into my Gen 9 team very, like, late on. It was probably the latest or second latest thing I added in. Because, of course, Gen 9, you can access the PC box from the start menu. So you can just have a giant... I'm not scared. I'm just ignoring the question. You just have a giant team, because I had, like, a team of 9 different Pokemon. It's great. But Kilowattrel as an electric, like, its main benefit is really its speed. It's very, very fast. It doesn't get many great electric type moves. It kind of gets Electro Ball, which you can make a lot of use out of. Because, again, it's fast.
Also a special attacker, which is unusual in...
It's very
birds.
unusual among these birds. I believe unique so far in the burbs.
And pretty much. I mean, yeah, so Electro Ball, Thunder Shock, and then much later it gets Volt Switch and Discharge.
Yeah, and like Volt Switch, yes, I stuck in with that because I had a Palafin, and Palafins benefit hugely from being switched in and out. They have an ability that, like, juices their stats beyond belief. It juices their stats so much that they got banned.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, Palafins, they're really funny. And also a bitch to evolve because you need friends. That's not a joke. You have to evolve them in front of somebody.
What the hell, Pokemon? Fuck's sake.
Also, hey, Chris, your wife is now abusing me in the chat.
God damn it!
Hey, okay, just because Girafarig and then later the evolution for Farigiraf is great means nothing.
Did you just say Girafarig is great? Because if so, we may have to end this stream and never talk to each other again.
Okay, no, dude, seriously. Play the new games. Find yourself a Farigiraf. They're actually really cool.
They're not cool! They're fucking dressed up in pajamas that were the skin of its dead back half!
Yeah, that's really fun. I think that's kind of cool. It's not the Dunsparce, alright?
The Dunsparce is just fucking human centipede, but in Pokemon.
The Dunsparce is a crime against nature, and the fact that they made it like there is a small % chance that instead of getting one that's 2 segments, you can get one that's 3 segments.
It's not okay.
They also made it the centerpiece of one of the gym leaders.
Of course they did.
And it's the gym leader that gave me the most trouble.
Did he also have a thing about sticking his head up human anuses?
No, he didn't. I believe he was just the one who had... Well, he was a businessman. He was just like a regular Japanese salaryman, so I think his head may have been up something's arse already.
Probably.
Because he was just like, I'm just tired. I'm just so fucking tired.
But just so you know, Jonathan, it's now canon that you're a neck man. It's officially canon.
See, I wish I had a drink now because I could say I'm just gonna neck this.
Hey!
Wa-na-na-na-na-na. Hey. Thanks, Phoebe. Thanks.
It's okay, Jonathan. You and your gross neck will go and find a beautiful long-necked person at some point. Possibly a long-necked burb. Who knows? You and the ostrich could always have a thing.
I didn't come here to be harassed.
But
anyway, Kilowattrel,
shall we?
Anyway,
just
back
to save you the embarrassment.
Back to Kilowattrel, which evolves from Wattrel. I will actually, I'll dig up Wattrel so you can have a look at it.
I mean, it seems to be super cute. I've got a little.
Oh yeah, it's real cute.
Yeah.
It's just not interesting as a design, to be honest. Like that, for those of you who are interested, that's Wattrel. That evolves into that. Like it's not really interesting, to be honest.
From people who are talking about, previously about Batman and Robin, I'm like, that gives me hella Robin vibes.
Like early days Robin, like.
Yeah.
We're on some
I
great shit.
stare into my soul. Oh, definitely. It is haunted by the ghost of someone's parents.
Yeah, let's just put that away for now. Let's put that away.
Put away the unblinking eyes. So Robin to Nightwing.
A little bit.
The shagging.
Oh no. It's all Batman's parents fuck and then it's all them die.
Yep.
But yeah, Kilowattrel.
I mean, I have to say, looking at its Bulbapedia page.
Yeah, what do we got for that?
For a start, it's 4'7", so it's nearly as tall as Noctowl. It has some bitchin' abilities.
What does it get?
It gets Volt Absorb, as standard,
Nice.
and Wind Power. Wind Power basically means
Yes.
if you're hit by a flying type move, or you have Tailwind in effect, then your next electric type move hits with double the power.
Because that's kind of how I used it for. It was like I gave it I kind of pushed it to be high speed and then gave it Tailwind as like a setup, and then used Volt Switch to switch back into Palafin.
And it's like at that point, everyone's sped up. Every time you use Volt Switch, you're using it at double power.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Like, that's really useful. It does take a turn of setup, and, like, it's good for... But I will say, like, Kilowattrel is never the hero of the story.
I mean, I suppose that's because, you know, if you want. I mean, I suppose, you know, 125 base speed, 105 base special attack. Like, it's pretty good.
Like,
and it's got 5 resistances, only 2 weaknesses. So it's I think, you know, solid. But also, its move pool does not take the best advantage of the fact that it is a special attacker.
That's the thing. If we were to translate this slightly into D&D terms, Kilowattrel is a cleric. Without the healing. It's support. It's tough on its own. It's support, but it's never really the star of the show.
I mean, I think that's calling it a cleric then is a really bad metaphor.
Yeah, but I think it's a better metaphor than calling it a bard. I think it's better than calling it a bard.
Well, because it's support. It has fuck all support.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of has fuck all support, but it acts best as like a backup.
Yeah, I suppose if you're gonna use it to set up Tailwind and then
be Volt switching around.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's pretty solid.
It's pretty solid. It's more like a monk. Yeah,
and also, you know, again, you've still got things like Electro Ball, which if you're gonna, and you can learn agility as well. So, you know, you can absolutely like spec it up to just like murder kill things by making it so fast, you know, too fast to die.
Maybe, but
yeah.
I mean, we have an electric swallow here. So
I mean, I like it. Like Sonic, yes. This is, you know, like Sonic. It wants to be too fast to die. We've not quite got.
If we fly fast enough, the demons can't catch us.
Exactly.
I want to put Kilowattrel in B tier.
I'm happy to put it in B tier. Yeah. I think. Yeah, I'm happy to put it up there with Cannon.
Because I liked my Kilowattrel, I really did, but admittedly, that it may have been because the other members of the party that I had in my Gen 9 playthrough, like Meowscarada and Clodsire and Tinkaton, were just and Armor Rouge and things like that were like so much cooler.
Yeah.
That it kind of got overshadowed. So that might be a bit of bias on my part.
That's fair.
Because, honestly, man, Gen 9 had a fucking great Pokedex.
Fair enough. I'm looking forward to playing that great Pokedex.
Yeah. I mean, I've shown you pictures of Clodsire.
Yes, you have, and I know that you love it, and I'm like, no. Sorry to shit on your happy boy.
My happy little poison boy! Anyway, that kind of brings us to the end of the generations. But we do have a few honourable mentions that do not necessarily fit the profile of the early term birds, the early birds.
Or they do, and you didn't include them because you only wanted to put in one per gen.
Well,
Spearow.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 early bird. There's 4 honourable mentions, to be honest with you. Because the only one that I kind of hemmed and hawed over and decided not to include...
Farfetch'd.
Not Farfetch'd, fuck you. The only one I hemmed and hawed over and decided not to include was Drifblim.
I suppose, yeah, because it's not a bird.
That was kind of the clinching criteria, was because it isn't a bird. That was it. That was the only reason that I didn't include Drifblim in this list, because I hemmed and hawed. And past Gen 4, there really aren't anything that could really be classed as honourable mentions.
No, I suppose not. I can't think of...
like, you get some single evolution stuff like Oricorio, but I feel like Oricorio is very much doing its own thing.
It is, yeah. And I think, in terms of like early game birds, you are thinking more about things like Spearow, you're thinking about Wingull, that kind of thing.
Well, speaking of which, here's our first honorable mention. It's Fearow.
A tier. I love Fearow. I think Fearow is a really, really just brilliant flying type.
Fearow is a rock-solid bird.
It's not the best bird of Gen 1, though. The best bird of Gen 1, and I think I can say this categorically without any controversy.
Dodrio?
Best bird of Gen 1 is Dodrio.
Dodrio?
It has Dodrio. Particularly if you're talking about like original red and blue, Dodrio has Tri-Attack, it has Drill Peck, it has the best move pool of any of the non-legendary flying types.
Honestly?
Also some of the best base stats.
Honestly, I'm not going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that what popped into my head is a support group of the 3 triple evolution Pokemon from Gen 1. I'm not talking about Pokemon that evolve 3 times. I'm talking about Dugtrio. I'm talking about Magneton. I'm talking about Dodrio. Just like the 3 of them sitting in a circle being like, hey, so did you evolve and then suddenly have to put up with 2 other assholes? And then Dodrio's sitting like, no, I only had to put up with 1 other guy. Like, me and Kevin here, we've been buds since day 1. I was like, hey, I like you guys. Shut up, Kyle. Like, oh, okay. We'll get to Pelipper. Fearow is a solid bird that honestly gives no fucks and will just rip you in half if you decide to look at it sideways.
Also, I wish to point this out. In later generations, it gets Drill Run as a move.
It gets what?
It gets Drill Run.
It's a bird that can burrow.
Yep. Which
oh my
also,
god.
I would like to point out,
that kills electric types.
Yeah, since it's got 100 base speed, 90 base attack, so it's not got staggering stats, but also, it gets a fucking 80 power ground move.
Which so few birds do.
And almost no birds do.
Yeah.
Like, that's some good shit right there.
We have our first A tier!
Yeah.
Like, it's not quite to the level of Staraptor. It doesn't get quite the same love as Staraptor or Talonflame, but bloody close. And then, of course, next in the order, we have, honestly, a slightly strange entry in this. The one that I kind of looked at and be like, you know what? This deserves a little bit more love. We have Xatu.
Really?
Xatu.
See, I'm like, I feel like if we're opening the gate to Xatu, we would be opening the gate to Doduo and Dodrio. Like, Xatu is not an early game bird at all.
Yeah, but like I put Xatu in because I was like, this feels very similar, and like, yeah, you get Natu fairly early, don't you?
No, you can't get Natu until you've got Surf.
Oh shit, I may have fucked this one up then.
Yeah, Natu, it's because Natu's hiding in the ruins of Alf.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Xatu are found in the ruins of Alf. And you have to do it by surfing through Union Cave to like the back bit and go up the stairs. And then it's the grass. That's where you catch Xatu in Gen 2.
Oh shit.
Yeah. He fucked up. Yes, he does have a smaller burb under his top.
I think he does, yeah. I mean, yeah, okay. I think we can discount Xatu then. I didn't want to, the reason I wouldn't open it up to Doduo and Dodrio is we already had a Gen 1 honorable mention, and Fearow fit the bill way better.
Yes, oh no, absolutely.
Okay, I'll not talk about Xatu then. You hide your shame. Let's talk about one that we can definitely agree is early bird. Absolutely on the point. It's Pelipper.
Yes.
Pelipper.
Pelipper is a solid good boy.
Pelipper is a very solid good boy, and honestly, kind of scary in the number of ways you can build him.
I mean, that is actually true. Like, and particularly for later generations, because they gave Pelipper Drizzle.
They did, which means that Pelipper has retained relevance throughout.
Like, far longer than a lot of other Pokemon.
Pelipper is relevant now.
Yeah. Which is mental.
And also, just to add to the, joyousness of Pelipper, in the Mystery Dungeon games, Pelipper's deliver your mail.
They do.
They fly over to your house with mail in their beaks and they post it in your letterbox by pecking at it. And that's just joyous. That's wonderful.
It's pretty delightful.
Pelipers are wonderful. They are glorious boys.
Yeah.
And they are they're very heavily on the support angle.
Yes. They are very heavy on the support. And they're also really good supports, which is nice.
Because they can get, discarding the HM stuff, they get Drizzle, they can get Mist, they can get Safeguard, they can get Spit Up, Swallow.
They also have really solid, 100 base defense and 70 base special defense.
If it wasn't for their massive weakness to electric type moves, they'd be amazing. Yeah.
And again, it's that, they've got Stockpile, Spit Up, Swallow, they get Mist, they get Roost, Protect, Soak, for obviously those are kind of later gens than when it initially came out. Also Tailwind, they're a really solid kind of, stay there and help out your rain team to be the best it can be.
Yeah, if you have a Pelipper at your back, you're going to do well. So I propose that Pelipper goes in A tier.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also feel like if anyone hasn't noticed, yes, Cargo Baby! If anybody hasn't noticed, yes, this list is probably very biased. But
it's heavily biased, but
yeah, we are super biased human beings.
Yeah, we're people.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings us to our last sort of honourable mention, which I've forgotten what it is. Oh, it's Swoobat!
Yay!
Which is really stretching the definition as much as I'm willing to go.
I mean, yes.
Because it's the only thing on here that isn't conceivably a bird.
But it is a super early game 2-stage flying type.
It is a super early stage 2. Yeah. Because that's the thing, including... I was like, should I include Swoobat if I'm not going to include Zubat? Because they're clearly references to each other. And then I decided, fuck that, give me Fira. Because Zubat went off and got its own thing because it got Crobat. And Crobat is just... Crobat would be S tier because Crobat fucking rocks.
Yes.
Crobat just rocks so hard. It is a body about the size of my head and just wings full of hatred.
Yep, and it's great.
And it will kill you before you can blink. Swoobat. I have never trained a Swoobat.
I have, and I really like them. They've not got much in the way of abilities, but what they do have is a really interesting move pool. And also, they're flying psychic, which is a small pool of people.
It's 3, I believe.
Yeah, it was Swoobat,
Sigilyph, and Xatu.
Sigilyph and Xatu, yeah. Sigilyph was the one I'd forgotten. Yeah. But Swoobat. I mean, they don't have particularly great base stats, I have to say. Base 114 speed, which is good. Base 77 special attack.
And then the rest is dog shit.
The rest is dog shit.
And it's got 5 weaknesses.
Yes. But it also gets Air Slash, Psychic, and Heart Stamp, which is a really interesting... It's one of our kind of earliest examples, really, of a physical psychic move.
You know what's worse? Well, the earliest example of a physical psychic move is Zen Headbutt. I'm in Gen 4. But you know what the really sad thing is with Heart Stamp?
What?
They got rid of it.
I know they did. It's really sad.
Fucking killed it.
Yeah, they kept it.
In Gen 9, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't
the Gen
exist
8,
in Gen
it doesn't.
8.
It doesn't exist in Gen 8 because Swoobat doesn't exist in Gen 9.
Well, but this is part of the... That was part of the great cull of moves that they did in Gen 8 to streamline things, which I really do feel like made the game considerably more generic.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I did not like that. It was a pain in the ass.
Exactly. It's and I appreciate that, they keep adding new Pokemon, and therefore, you've got to have more and more storage space, and there is a limit to what you can hold.
And there are some moves that are a little redundant.
Yeah, but it's still even redundant moves give Pokemon individuality.
Yeah.
And Heart Stamp was a unique move to Swoobat, and it was individual. Because you're giving a physical psychic move to a Pokemon with shitey physical attack.
Yeah.
But it was there and it was cute. And it, rather than having a chance to flinch, it should have had a chance to infatuate. But that's not how the game worked. So sad life. But otherwise, I had a really good time with it. I thought it was really solid. I don't remember its stats being as bad as this would indicate, but it was my very first playthrough of Black and White that I had a Swoobat. Also, Simple Beam is in later generations. It got Simple Beam, which is quite a solid support, quite a solid debuff move.
Yeah.
I mean, what does the Heart Stamp do? It gives you a big old smooch and then you flinch in fear.
Yeah, basically it's like you Swoobat will kiss you and then you go out of surprise.
Big old heart-shaped nose.
Yep.
I'm struggling with the fact that I like it, but I'm also aware, yes, absolutely, the peak flirting technique.
Worked for me.
But it is almost certainly less useful and or relevant. If we're going to include it as a bird, it is probably definitely worse than Pidgeot, Noctowl, or Corviknight. So it probably belongs in D tier. Intellectual property theft. Absolutely.
Oh, flirting technique.
Yep.
You can fight me for it. You can flirt me for it. Whoever blushes first loses.
Swoobat's always blushing. That's its secret. It's always blushing.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always blushing. Should we give Swoobat its own tier then?
I think it goes. It should go in not a bird. That should be its tier. Is not a bird.
Not here.
But I would put it in D.
I don't know.
Why? What's your feeling? I've talked a lot about it. You tell me. What are your feelings?
Okay, I really like the design of Swoobat. It's whole sort of like fused together ears becoming sort of an echo chamber thing, and the heart-shaped nose and the little twisty tail at the bottom. I think that's a really cool design for a creature for it's like to hang upside down.
I agree.
It's got a reasonable move pool with the psychic influence in it. I think it's at least as interesting as Corviknight.
Okay.
I don't think I could push it higher than C tier reasonably.
No. I don't think you should go as high as C tier, so you're still being kinder than me, which is hilarious.
But I do feel I'm stretching a little bit.
I think it's a reasonably solid, not even then, Attract, Amnesia, Calm Mind. It's not, I don't think it does support well enough. I don't think it necessarily has the power needed to be kind of power viable, and it has got 5 weaknesses.
Yeah.
And yes, it has a lovely design. I really like Swoobat's design. I agree. I think it looks fluffy and cuddly, and it's got the grabby tail. I think it's a great design. I really like Swoobat.
So I think Swoobat could. I don't think it can really go much higher than D tier. I will, however, show off Woobat. It's pre-evolution because look at that face. Look at that face.
Isn't it?
How could you not love that little face? Look at that little boy.
That's so cute.
Look at that little fluffy boy.
Cute.
He's so cute.
Yeah, it's just delightful.
He's a little Woobat because he just flies around caves just going, woo! Woo! Woo!
Yep, occasionally leaving big
that.
heart prints in place.
I'm gonna clip that.
So yeah, it's delightful. It's absolutely delightful. But yes, Swoobat I think is yeah. Yeah.
Look at that! Look at that boy!
It don't get all the teethies, it only get the tooth.
Only got the tooth. I love it. It's wonderful.
It is super cute.
But that's the thing, there's not really... I don't think we can really push Swoobat beyond that.
No, particularly also since it's not a fucking bird. Like,
no, it is not a fucking bird. It's a bat.
Exactly.
But
I mean, much as, and I've seen some dumb shit on the internet in my day of people being like, "No, bats are birds." Like, no, they're not fucking birds. They're mammals. Get over it.
They're not mammals. They're rodents.
No, the bats are mammals. In fact, yeah, because they're not marsupials, because they don't carry their young in a pouch.
No,
And also, rodents are mammals.
But if fly, burp.
No,
makes a good point.
not
If fly, it burp. This is why flying squirrels are burps.
No, flying squirrels are not burps.
But they're definitely rodents.
How dare you? Oh my god. I'm a kidnap you all and tie you to chairs in a fucking science class. And explain what the difference is between animal groups.
Alright. So that's all the birds we had prepared. But we've still got 15 minutes left of the stream. So I want to show you one of the birds from Gen 9.
Oh god.
But we're not going to rank it. This is just to show you, because I've just had this off the top of my head.
Alright.
This...
No hot air balloon is not burp.
This is one of the birds from Gen 9.
Okay.
It's called Bombardier.
Okay.
And that big flap at the front is like a bib that it like carries the end in its mouth and uses as a sling to drop rocks on people. Because fuck you, that's why.
The chat's teaming up on us and we're going to have to put Driftblim into the ranking list. But also, this is stupid.
It's very stupid. I just wanted you to see Bombardier because I had to... It's flying in dark type as well. It's not rock type, it's dark type.
It holds its bib in its mouth, apparently. That's how it does not trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then in its bib, it has bombs.
It has
and it goes...
It has a rock.
Oh, it's a rock.
It drops rocks on people. It has an ability that ups its rock type, that basically gives it stab with rock type moves.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but that's its hidden ability for some reason.
I mean, makes sense.
Like, this is its image in the Paldean Pokedex.
I do like this thing with the Paldean Pokedex.
It's amazing. I genuinely... Best incentive I've ever had to complete a Pokedex.
It just looks like a stork.
That's, I think, the point, where instead of delivering a baby, it delivers death.
You know what? Actually, yeah, I'm kind of on board with that.
Instead of a baby, it's a payload.
Alright, you know what? Actually, yeah, I'm convinced. I'm convinced she can carry secrets.
Do you want to see the barb I did? You want to see the barb I did choose for my main flying type in Scarlet and Violet?
Go on. If it's not the one that drops secret bombs...
This is Flamigo.
Fuck off.
This is Flamigo, and Flamigo was amazing.
It's a fucking flamingo, Jonathan!
That is precisely the reason I captured it, because I saw it in the wild and I went, that's just a fucking flamingo, I need to have it. And then I discovered that this motherfucker, not only does it stare into your soul, it is a fighting flying type. This is a flying and fighting single evolution type that kicks fuck out of anything that comes near it.
I think it just kicks fuck out of people because all of those people are telling it it's not a fucking Pokemon. And it's like, how dare you? I'm allowed in this game.
Yeah.
I'm a real bird, I swear!
And then it kicks shit out of people. It also has, and I believe this is probably one of the most busted ass hidden abilities possible.
Okay.
The ability is called Co-Star.
Right.
I'm going to read the ability verbatim. When a Pokemon with Co-Star enters the battle, it copies an ally's stat changes for itself.
That's pretty solid.
So if you've had some big tanky motherfucker sitting there using Curse to boost its defenses, Flamigo just comes in and suddenly it has all those stat boosts. For nothing.
I mean, Or, you know, first turn you could go belly drum, swap someone in.
Like, you need to have... It's only for double battle, so you need to have, like... So if you had a belly drum Azumarill...
Yeah.
And then you swap in Flamingo, suddenly it has that boost, and it'll just rip through everything.
That's pretty good.
That's insane.
That is pretty solid.
Yeah. And it learns, like, some really good fighting moves. Like, that's a kickboxing Flamingo.
It is indeed.
I fucking love it, because I kept it all... Like, I was like, oh, I'll have this as a temporary flying type. I'll run this for a little while. And then it fought, and then it just, like, fucked people up all the way up to the Pokemon League.
You know what? I can't argue with that.
Like, because there are only 2 fighting and flying type Pokemon, and the other one is a fucking Luchador.
Hurricane ran off the top rope.
And we love Holucha.
We fucking do love Holucha.
Love Holucha in this household.
Right. The chat have demanded, Jonathan, are you able to bring up an image of Drifblim for the tier list?
Give me a second.
So, yeah, the balloon has been requested. the ghost and flying type, which is delightful. The ghost and flying type that tries to carry away small children, but sadly isn't can't get the elevation necessary and just gets dragged about instead. Is Burb. Is Hot Air Burb. Hot Air Burb.
Hot Air Burbloon.
Hot Air Burbloon. That's where we're at today. Cursed Beanbag. Yup.
God damn it, I put effort into these tier lists, making sure all the fucking creatures are the right size. Making sure everything's, you know...
I'm so proud of you for putting in effort.
And I hemmed and hawed over Drifblim. This. Our big bloony boy.
Yup.
Who is dead behind those eyes.
And also has an incredibly solid stats, as well as ability set, as well as move set.
Yeah, and is the bane of my goddamn motherfucking existence in the Mystery Dungeon games. Do you remember why?
Yes! Because they have Aftermath!
Which means that as soon as you beat them, they explode!
Yeah.
This thing, like, you will poke this thing too hard, and it will detonate like the Hindenburg.
Yup.
Okay? It will just explode and take all of your hopes and dreams with it. As well as part of the surrounding building.
It also has 150 base health.
Yeah, this is a tanky ass balloon.
Yup.
Ain't no pin burst in that bubble.
So, yeah. And it also has a whole bunch of staying moves just to, like, keep it getting stronger and healthier.
See, I will admit, this is also one of the reasons I was like, because I was like, is not technically Burb. These are not wings, these are tassels. Where I was like, let's not put Drifblim in, because also, we're going to just put it straight in S tier where it belongs.
I wasn't going to put it in S tier. I thought that would be uncharitable.
No, I don't think it is, because Drifblim has both amazing offensive potential, defensive potential, fuck you asshole potential, and a really nice design that is simultaneously friend-shaped and, if I may just... knows where you live.
Yes, it does.
It knows where you live. Drifblim will find you and it will steal your children. Look at those eyes.
Like some of it.
There is no remorse behind those eyes. It will end you and everything you love.
I have to say, I do really like some of the Pokedex entries for this. You want to hear the one for Pokemon Sun?
Please.
There was once an incident in which a man took a trip riding a Drifblim, only to go missing. That's it. That's the whole entry.
Man, yes, the Xbox is the spot where the heart got removed so that it would feel no remorse for stealing your children, and apparently your adults. Man went for a ride with a Drifblim. He was never seen again.
You want to? Oh no! This gets a bit darker somehow.
Oh yeah?
Pokemon Ultra Moon The raw material for the gas inside its body is souls. When its body starts to deflate, it's thought to carry away people and Pokemon.
Drifblim, wakey wakey, eggs and dead people.
Yeah! When it starts to deflate, it goes and kidnaps more people to eat for souls.
It's like, oh man, I need a top up. Better go eat people.
Yeah!
Better go eat the souls of the children and the dead and the animals.
Oh my god.
You do not fuck with Drifblim.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
It's way scarier than this nice, peaceful acoustic music would let you believe.
I mean, weirdly, the entry for Legends Arceus says, it drifts along at dusk, perfectly silent. Its transient, melancholy aspect touches some people deeply. Every so often, one will come upon a song or poem devoted to Drifblim.
That's... Legends Arceus is set way in the past. I'm assuming that's just before they discovered how fucking terrifying these things are.
I mean, I am tempted now to try and come up with, like, a limerick about Drifblim eating people.
Alright.
That can be our poem to Drifblim. There once was a balloon Pokemon
who went and kidnapped my child's son.
What?
He went and kidnapped my child's son.
Who we thought it'd be fun to ride on. We flew up in the sky and ended up way too high. And then it dropped us.
And then we fucking died. It flew high in the sky, and then it killed some guy.
There once was a Pokemon Drifblim who would disappear on a whim. It flew up in the sky just to kill some guy. And all that was left was a limb.
Not even leaving a limb.
Something like that. Oh dear.
Oh my god.
So yeah, there we go.
So
S tier murder balloon.
I'm putting the balloon in S tier.
Cool.
Okay, the balloon belongs in S tier, where it flies above, because frankly, if anyone gets any closer, it will kill it.
Beautiful.
So I think that's our stream, everybody. We're coming up on 2 hours. We're done. These are our burbs. We love them dearly.
Exactly. They're all burbs.
They're all burbs, even Drifblim. Because if you say that Drifblim isn't a burb, it will kidnap your children.
Confirmed.
Exactly. So don't question it. Don't question the Drifblim. Do not question it. It has my son.
It was lovely to see y'all.
It's been lovely to see everybody.
Jonathan, social medias.
I'm going to do the end of stream plugs thing. You can follow me on Twitter at JonathanHoney4. I also have a website, which is jonathandavidhoney.com, where I post game reviews and stories. Please read my stuff. Please. 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 I'm also on Patreon at JonathanDavidHoney. Chris is on Instagram at ChrisHoneyActor. We do various things. We do these every Monday. There's links to various social media stuff, etc. In the descriptions and the Twitch links and etc. This VOD, the whole of this stream will also be available on our YouTube channel, The Brothers Honey, which is currently just the streams, but archived, because frankly, Twitch's archiving system is shit.
And that's why we never got Twitch affiliate.
Hi there, Jeff. Hi there, Jeff. So yeah, you can find us.
Yes. Find his video game reviews on his website.
I have reviewed more than 50 games. In fact, I released a review for a game today called One Step from Eden. It's a little fast-paced card battler by a guy named Thomas Moon Kang. Maybe not the best review to read, because honestly, I feel I was a little bit harsh to it. A little bit harsher than I should have.
Tweet the devs. Unleash the storm.
That's usually what I do. This time I didn't, because I'm like, man, I feel like I was too harsh on this thing. But yeah, I review video games, I write stories. I'm also making video games. Oh fuck, I forgot the most important one. You can follow my games company at @old_games on Twitter. We are Old Alliance Games, trying to make games ethically and properly. And yeah, stay tuned. We're going to get our social media stuff up and running soon. Soon you'll even be able to wishlist our game on Steam. Ooh.
Whoop, whoop!
Whoop, whoop.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching our burbs. We will see you the next time that we do something this stupid. Bye!
Bye, everybody! Okay.